Hi, first of all, I want to welcome you all to Navayug Study. And the intent of this video is in fact to introduce you to Navayug Study. Just explain what is the intent of this specific YouTube channel and also the websites and all that which we are planning to build on as a part of Navayug. What is the intent of that? And also, I want to introduce myself in terms of who I am, because I'm one of the, I can say, the idea of Navayug to start off originated from me. Now, my name is Vinod. I'm based out of Bangalore in Karnataka. My background, I'm basically an engineer. I did my BTech in mechanical engineering from Calicut University in Kerala, where I was brought up. And then I did my MTech in mechanical engineering from IIT Madras. And then I did my Master of Science in Software Sciences from Birla Institute of Technology and Science, Pilani. So this is my academic background, and I've been in software industry for quite a while now. In fact, for almost 18 years, worked in various companies like Intel, Microsoft, and so on. I'm basically a person passionate about science and mathematics, science enthusiast, even now a student, I can say. And why did I start off with this? What led to me thinking about starting something like this is because I felt that in many cases, in many schools in India, the science and mathematics has been taught just for marks, right? And has been not presented properly in a particularly interesting fashion, right? Where the intent, according to me, for subjects like science and mathematics should be that the students have to know the fundamentals, and the concepts have to be presented with the intent of making it something interesting for the student. And that happens when the various concepts which are taught in the classroom are being associated to the corresponding practical aspects. So when I'm learning about heat, or I'm learning about electricity, or I'm learning about acids and bases, or I'm learning about probably sound, right, or force or acceleration and so on. The one part is to know the theory, and second is to know how these things can be applied, and when you really know how that's applied and used in day-to-day life, or in engineering or in sciences for accomplishing various things in your day-to-day life, that is when the concepts become meaningful, and that's when the concepts become fun. So the intent of this whole exercise of Navayug is to present science and mathematics in as interesting a way as possible. And the intent is also to take it to all over India, where there are various students who are studying in different circumstances, and how they can actually all be presented with science in a very interesting and very in a like a story, an interesting story, so that all of them starts loving these subjects. In many cases, I have found that the children look at these subjects with a certain level of fear, and that should never happen, right? Because these subjects are simply fun to learn. And since I love science, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to present these videos on various subjects, mainly based on the CBSE and ICSE syllabus. So in fact, the videos do have both. It's actually a combination of both CBSE and ICSE syllabus. I'm covering both the syllabus together in a video because I feel that both those syllabuses are very much correlated, and the students are learning almost the same thing. So so I didn't want to differentiate between these two syllabuses, so I just put it together. And the other exercise which I've done is I've actually taken or aggregated or what you call summed up a lot of information which is there in internet, which is in terms of websites, the various animations available, the YouTube videos and so on, which can actually help to demonstrate a lot of these principles that you're learning. So I can say that what I'm putting into use in these videos is my experience as a teacher. Of course, I've not really done a teacher profession in any of the schools, but it's something which I've always loved and been passionate about teaching. And my love for the subjects of science and mathematics, right? And my interest in creating passion in the young minds on these two subjects, and then also my probably experience as a software engineer to find content in the internet and try to put that into use. So that's what I'm trying to do. Now, as a part of this exercise, I also am trying to make the children, or the young India as I call them, aware of the contributions that Indians have done in these fields. Now, a lot of children who are in the age between 10 and 20 are in fact thinking that science and maths all belongs to Westerners and all the discoveries have happened in Western countries. That's not true. In fact, our forefathers, probably many hundred years ago, have also contributed a lot to science and mathematics. And as a part of these sessions, I'm also trying to, in between, try to kind of give information about what we in India, the various rishis and various things which are there in Vedas and so on, which are related to science and mathematics. Because a lot of people think that Vedas is just some religious text. That's not true, right? It is also a science text, it's also a maths text, it is also a medicine text, and all that. So it has got certain philosophy, there's some religion, but a lot of science and mathematics in Vedas. Now, let me tell you some instances of why I say that our forefathers have contributed a lot into science and mathematics. Do you know where the decimal system was invented? The decimal system was invented by Indians. Why do I say that? The reason why I said that is because of few points which I want to tell, which kind of substantiates my statement that decimal system is from India. Now, I don't know whether when you learned the number system, that is 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, up to 9, which are the 10 digits, right, using which all the numbers can be written, the number system, in decimal system. You might have learned that as Indo-Arabic numbers. Why is it called Indo-Arabic? It's actually Indo. The Arabs used to be traders, and they used to come to India for doing trading, and that's when they learned this from India, and then they took it over to Europe. So the Europeans learned the number system, the decimal number system and the numerals from Arabs, and they thought that it came from Arabs, but later on it was figured out that it came from India. Now, why do I say that? Is because if you look at Vedas, right, and Upanishads, you can see huge numbers, Kodi, right, and beyond that, crores, and beyond that, millions, trillions, and all these numbers can be seen in Vedas. And the reason why we could imagine about those numbers is because we know what is decimal system. Whereas if you look at the Roman system, it used to struggle to tell numbers beyond 1,000. So you can see that is an example of the contribution, and you can see how fundamental that has been. A lot of people think that India's contribution to number system is just 0, and that's why India is a 0, and that is absolutely unfortunate and completely aberrated thinking, which is not true, right? So 0 is definitely a contribution from India, and that's a very beautiful concept. Think about somebody thinking about nothingness, some value. Now you think, what's the big deal? 0 is 0. Yeah, that's true. That's because you know about that concept. But think, somebody thought about that when that didn't exist, about a value which doesn't have a value. And that's so important, and it's based on that the complete decimal system has been developed. So according to me, the contribution of decimal system has been so important, has been fundamental for the mathematics as a subject to develop. What about algebra? Indians have done huge amount of contribution to algebra, and in fact has been used in Indian mathematics and Indian texts many years ago. During even the BCs, 300 and 400 BCs, there have been methods where the algebra has been used, right? So there has been usage of things like trigonometry, analytical geometry, many. I'm talking about 300, 400 BC, where huge, if you look at even the temples and all those complex buildings which has been constructed, without mathematics and geometry, the basic sense of geometry and symmetry, it just can't be built. So what I want to tell you is there has been huge amount of work which has happened in the area of mathematics in India. So dear kids who are listening to me, understand that you have a mathematical tradition. So mathematics is something which is there in us. Now, what about science? So people say, yeah, that's true. Indians have a very good mathematical mind. We are the people who invented chess as a game. Yes, that's true. But what about science? Oh, yeah, definitely a very good question. And I can tell you that we have done a lot of contributions to science too. Now, why do I say that? So the first instance I want to talk about is about metals, right? The usage of metals. The various, India was the country which knew how to extract zinc from the zinc ore during 500, maybe 400 or 500 BC, right? Nobody knew that. Anybody wanted zinc, they had to come to India, because they didn't know how to do it. Now, I cannot explain the reason for that, because you need to know chemistry for that. But I can tell you that we were the people who knew how to make zinc, right? Then there are a lot of other contributions in metallurgy related to alloys. I don't know whether you know about the Ashoka pillar which stands in Delhi. It was installed by Chandragupta Maurya, which probably was in 600 BC, which we are saying we almost 2,600 years ago, right? And it still stays there in Delhi without rusting, no corrosion, and that the reason is because it's made of a specific type of alloy and a specific way of casting which has been done. Casting is actually a process which you learn later on, probably if you're going to become a mechanical engineer, right? Or a chemistry guy related to metallurgy, or probably if you are also going to get into the metallurgy as an area or material science as an area, you learn about casting. But and all these were unique processes which Indians knew so far, long time back, and that is still staying. There is also a stupa near in Mangalore, right, which was actually done during the Adi Shankara's period, which was somewhere around same time. Again, using the same alloy, and that stupa is standing there without, stupa is a pillar, again a metal pillar, without any rusting or corrosion, right? What about our knowledge in in the things like astronomy, right? We had phenomenal knowledge about astronomy. We kind of, why is it, if you speak Hindi or Sanskrit, this planet, our dear blue planet called Earth, is called Bhugol. Bhugol. Golam in Sanskrit means globe. Sphere, right? Sphere. That is what Golam means. And if you look at all the literature, it is called Bhugol, which basically means that we knew that the Earth is a spherical planet, which is something which was very later on discovered by Magellan in Europe, probably somewhere in 16th century, and he proposed, and he kind of told that yes, when he traveled through the ship, he figured out that it is spherical. Till then, people used to think that Earth is a flat like a plate, right? Because when you look, you see a horizon always, right? And so people used to think that's flat, but it's not. We had an idea about solar system. We had an idea about the neighboring planets, right? We had idea about certain stars and so on. So there was a lot of things related to astronomy. The Aryabhatas and also some of his students like Brahmagupta and so on were pioneers in mathematics and astronomy, right? And they have written a lot of books about astronomy. The Vedic mathematics is again some of the areas where they were really good in. Do you know first university of India of the world is Nalanda University, which was out of near in Bihar, somewhere near Pataliputra and so on, right? Nalanda University, the greatest place where a lot of knowledge was shared and a lot of learning used to happen. Used to have huge libraries where a lot of literature was written about mathematics, science, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy and yoga and so on, right? So look at that. Why I'm telling all this? The reason why I'm telling is you children should know that you belong to a wonderful country. It's colorful, it's got variety of culture, it's got different religions, different tribes, different languages, different cultures, different food habits, different topography. You have Himalayas, you have Western Ghats, you have all the seas and coastal areas, you have the great beautiful Assam, you've got a great beautiful Gujarat on the other side, you have great Kashmir on the northernmost side, you've got beautiful rivers. It's a wonderful, colorful country, and what you have to do when you grow up is to become a Paka Indian and think what you can do to India as a country. Our forefathers did a lot of things and did big contributions. Right? Now, what about medicines? Ayurveda is a great area of medicine where our forefathers figured out how the herbs can be used to treat a lot of different ailments which humans have and also animals have. Right? Then similarly, one of the first surgeons of the world was Sushruta, who did the surgeries many 2,500 years ago. He used to do surgeries, removed cataract, used to take care of suturing injuries during a war, right? So what I want to tell you is that there has been volumes and volumes of literature written on mathematics, science, medicine, philosophy, and things like yoga and so on, and it has been phenomenal contributions. And these were all done by our forefather Indians, and if they can do, we can do as well. What is required is a belief and a passion for subjects, and that's a passion which I want to come in each and every kid in science and mathematics, and I'm trying to strive towards that. I'm sure that we're going to have fun. Now, the idea is that now how will somebody use these videos to learn the subject? It's not enough just to watch these videos. That's not going to take you to give you a full understanding. So what I'm expecting is that the student first go through his textbook, reads the textbook in the similar area. So if you're learning electricity, you go to the electricity chapter in the textbook, understand that, and then go to the video. That is going to give you a much more deeper understanding, and all the doubts that you had when you learned or read the textbook will start getting cleared as soon as you go through the video. So let me tell you, reading the textbook is a 100% must. So don't think that this video is going to take away the responsibility for you to read or go through the textbook. That's not true. You have to go to the textbook and then go to the video. Definitely you will still have questions. Now, what my intent is also to soon host a website where I'm going to start putting these videos. I'm also going to get some more people, like-minded people like me, to help me out to create more content, right? And then when the students can ask questions and we can get it answered in discussion forums and so on. And I also want to take this to various government schools where many students don't have the opportunity or the facility to kind of learn a lot of things which many kids who are in city have got opportunity to learn. So I also am trying to see how that can happen. Of course, it's going to take time, but what I need is support from all of you, right? I want encouragement from all of you, positive constructive feedbacks from all of you in terms of how I can improve these videos, right? The intent is completely constructive to help you out, make science and maths as a fun exercise, make you understand what great some of the our forefathers have done great work in the area of science and mathematics, which comes in as small snippets in between the main classes, right? And the idea is to develop a community where kids can come together, start interacting with each other, and also interacting with the faculty, and and make those two subjects fun to learn. So thanks for listening, and I'm as and when I create the website and all that, and when I do launch it, I'll definitely let all of you know. I need all your support, and I hope this whole exercise of Navayug is going to be a wonderful exercise where everybody is going to come together and enjoy learning science and mathematics. Thank you.